Howdy, Ags, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Number. My name is Allie Russell, sitting with
Carter Bajois.
And of course, our special guest, Sam Whitmarsh. Our special guest over here. It's been a long time since we've had a Behind the Number episode, so excited to not only be sitting down with Carter as the new co-host. You guys met him in our last episode, but of course Sam, who is someone that has some incredible stories to tell, and not only that, but just you are an incredible human being. I was telling you that before, right. So we're so excited to have you, so thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here. Thanks for asking me to come over.
Absolutely.
So Sam, NCAA runner-up, two-time SEC champion, two-time SEC runner-up, 144 PR in the 800, which is very world class.
That sounds like
pretty crazy. Oh yeah, that's a big time. He's a big time athlete. And just an overall great guy. Maroon coat, very involved on campus. So Sam, thank you for joining us today. Tell us a little bit, just to begin, about how you got to Texas A&M.
Man, well, geez, CB, thank you for that. First of all, appreciate that, brother. But man, how I got here. So I grew up kind of surrounded by the Aggie spirit a little bit. My grandfather was a class of 55. So kind of grew up around maroon and white a lot. And my best friend growing up, and he's still probably my best friend today. He's my roommate. I've known him for like 15 years now. His initials are ATM, and that was not an accident. So yeah, his parents were big Aggies, and so kind of grew up around it. So I knew it was kind of somewhere I wanted to end up. And whenever track and field kind of started to take off a little bit in high school and started talking to some colleges, A&M came up and offered me a spot, and it really was kind of a no-brainer. This is where I wanted to be.
Sweet.
Yeah. I feel like everyone who comes to A&M, they kind of have that one moment where they're like, oh, this was like kind of when I realized, or this feeling, this part of the tradition, like really was different than any place else.
Oh, totally.
So for you, was there anything specific that you feel like was that, yeah, this is my moment and this is when I knew I wanted to go to A&M?
Yeah. Oh, man. So, like, knowing that, like, I wanted to go here? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Well, geez. I remember when I was deciding to go here, I still didn't understand, like, what the Aggie spirit was, and I can talk a little bit more about that later, because, like, that really clicked for me freshman year once I got here. But when I was deciding, I think I was deciding between like Tennessee, Penn State, USC, and I'm an engineer, so I was like, I'm gonna put together a little spreadsheet, and we're gonna like rank these schools by like all these like different factors that I wrote out. And when I was done like ranking everybody, like A&M was like so far on top, it was like, yeah, this isn't even like
no-brainer.
It really is a no-brainer. I mean, all those other schools are great. I really enjoyed talking to all those coaches. Made some honestly, some friends I still see at track meets. I'll still say hi to some of those guys.
That's a cool part of visits and everything.
It is. It's awesome. Like, they were all great, but man, just Aggie Land's like where I belong. So.
Did you host him?
No, who hosted you?
It was COVID, dude.
Oh,
so like
true.
we were all online.
Nothing.
That's so online for your visits?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It was tough.
That's so
dude, because one day he just popped up. Like all the people in his class just came to practice.
Wait.
And I'm like, I guess I didn't realize no process, no visits, no anything. So yeah, I just started seeing Sam.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. It was wild.
Yeah, what an experience.
How did that even work?
It was weird. I was lucky before the pandemic. I got to come here on a junior day, so I got to like kind of be here for like a little bit with that already. But it was a lot of Zoom calls. It was a lot of just like, hey, can we call it this time? Or like, hey, I want to hop on this Zoom here. And like, I still remember like Penn State did this, where like they had like all the athletes like hop on a call for like a little bit, and like we all sat like together. It was like super weird
awkward,
though.
yeah.
It was just difficult. Like, I'm sure like if it was in person, it would have been like way better. But just because of like the nature of Zoom, it was just kind of like,
wow.
Hey.
Yeah.
Some people are frozen. He's like flipping the computer. Here's campus.
Literally, yeah. It's like, well, here's like our little like video presentation. Yeah, every school had their own like little video presentation they'd throw up.
What an experience, Sam. That is. I never thought about that.
It was wild. It was wild.
So odd.
Yeah.
I could not imagine trying to figure out a place without having been able to go there.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, at least you were probably familiar with A&M.
Right.
Before, from what you said.
Right, exactly.
Before even coming here,
Ended
which
up
is
in the
nice.
right place.
Exactly. I mean, this is where I was going to end up regardless.
Right.
So
It all
like,
worked out. Saved you a trip.
totally.
Yeah.
Didn't need that anyways.
Right.
So obviously, too, with Carter and you being so close, I feel like Carter's just given me so much of the rundown of your life and your experience. Your life. Yeah, I just am a pro at Sam's life.
From day one.
Yeah, from day one, from birth. But just like so many of the trials and tribulations that you've had to go through, but I'm sure have turned you into so much of the human being that you are today. So maybe can you just give people who are so unfamiliar with your story kind of the rundown of what it looked like from your freshman year at A&M?
Man, yeah, totally.
Take some seats, people. This
Yeah, we have a story, and there's probably going to be questions because even
Right.
before when you were telling me, I had a lot of questions. So
Yeah,
I may even just be asking them again just for people to have more insight.
for sure. For sure. Yeah, no, it was, freshman year was a little bit of a roller coaster, for sure. Whenever I got to Texas A&M, I had a broken foot. So I fractured my navicular in high school. But I was like, it's fine. Like, I'll be
That
good
was
to
that
go.
summer?
That was, I guess, at regionals
That's
my
right.
senior year.
So in
yeah.
May, kind of before coming to school?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I broke my foot in 3 places actually in that regionals race.
Goodness.
I still remember like we were coming around to 500 meters and like I had 2 guys in front of me. I was like, all right, like we're gonna make a move, pass them up, and see what we can do. And as soon as I stepped out into lane 2, dude, to make that move, my foot just went like it was like a flat tire. Like it just like snapped. It was crazy. And so then I went from like 3rd to like 8th. It was like getting like
You
the
didn't
pity
even fall
claps.
down?
No. I mean, I was like, yeah,
Okay.
I was like, I can't fall, but like I'm over here just like hobbling
my
like across
gosh.
the line, just like limping like.
Hey, well, you
it
can
was
say
rough.
that you finished the race.
I-
I feel
right.
like that's impressive.
Right. Yeah, that was. I appreciate that.
Of course. It's how you look at it, okay?
Exactly. It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
It's all about,
That's funny.
college has definitely taught me it's a lot about perspective most of the time. I came in, thought that was going to be resolved in September. That actually was not resolved, unfortunately.
Right.
It's still broken. So that was a super tough part of college, getting that news. I think in that same week, we lost my grandfather and my high school girlfriend broke up with me. Or we
my
broke
goodness,
up. Like that was,
Yeah, that was a week. I'm so sorry.
that was a rough week, but
Yeah.
we made it through. That was like a huge part of college for me because that kind of got me like diving back into my faith life, introduced me to great people like Carter and my teammates like Caden
Who?
and Gene
No,
Jenkins. Yeah, this guy. Oh yeah, he's over there. Yeah, but yeah, really got me involved with these guys and really like kind of changed my college trajectory for the better, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was tough, but worth it.
And so soon after that, from my understanding, you then had 2 heart surgeries. So can you shed some light on what that looked like leading up to them and then what it was like afterwards?
Yeah, totally. So growing up, I had like some heart issues.
I didn't know that.
What's that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was like since like I think I was like 9,
Really?
like when they started happening. But man, we went all over Houston. I mean, my parents took me to like everybody they possibly could, and everybody was like, "Man, like this kid looks fine. Like he's a perfectly healthy young man."
Wow.
I was just like being like gaslit for like 10 years of my life into believing that I was
Nothing's
fine.
wrong with you.
Oh my
Right.
gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, my poor parents are like, we don't know what to do because everybody we take you to says you're fine.
Wow.
So like we can't, like what else are we
You're an
supposed
attention
to do?
seeker, Sam.
Right, yeah, that's what it was, man. Dang it, like you caught me, CV.
Yeah.
But shoot, so man, we get to college, and unfortunately, over winter break, I caught COVID. Luckily, it wasn't too bad. But
Oh, that's right. And then you
yeah, dude, yeah. So it's crazy how everything lined up.
Yeah.
Because part of the protocol for coming back to
Yeah.
play is to get like an EKG and like
That is
imaging done of
crazy.
your heart. And like I'm at this point, I'm used to people being like, "Oh, you're fine. Don't like you're
Yeah.
good. Go back." So I'm like, "That's what they're gonna say." So one day I get the phone call from the surgeon, just expecting them to be like, "Yeah, you're good. Return to play, whatever." And I pick up the phone. He's like, "Hey, is this Sam?" I'm like, "Yeah. What's up?" And he's like, "Hey, dude, I think you have a problem." And I was like, really? I'm not crazy? Like, no way. Like,
10 years in the making.
no, I'm like, come
Oh my
on.
gosh.
I was like, I knew there was something. And he was like, yeah, you know,
Wow.
we think you have
No, that's
WPW.
crazy.
It was wild.
So what does that stand for?
Wolf Parkinson White syndrome.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. Still don't really know what that means. And he's like, yeah, I think you're going to need surgery for it. And I was like,
Ugh.
oh.
All in the same phone call.
Right,
Those
yeah.
calls are,
Yeah.
All in the same phone call.
Yep. So I was like,
geez,
that's
Sam.
not as cool.
Wow.
I don't want to be right anymore.
Right, yeah, let's go back to like before. Like let's hang out there. Let's
Go
not,
see one of
I
the
can't
doctors in
believe that it
Houston.
was like protocol. That
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Figured it out.
did you ever have COVID?
Yeah, no,
It's
I
like
remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's like an ultrasound on
You
your...
have to do all the things to get back. That is crazy.
It's kind of crazy, too, when you're getting it. You, like, see your heart,
Yeah.
and then you're like, you know, like, what's it look like? And she's like, they always tell me they can't say anything. I'm
No,
like...
they can't during the EKGs.
I
they
give
have to
you
be
permission. Is it everything good? She's like, I am not at liberty to say.
it's my heart.
Yeah, she's like, we'll be in contact in 2 weeks. I'm like, what? Can you just tell me if it's like looking
Tell
good?
me I'm fine.
Like, she's like, sorry. I'm like, okay. This
Yeah,
is
no
terrible.
kidding. That is wild.
Yeah,
That's
no.
absolutely wild.
It was
Dang.
totally crazy.
So all this is thrown at you one phone call,
Yeah.
and then the turnaround time was how long?
Yeah, so we got that phone call kind of early January, and I had my surgery in like late January.
Okay.
So
the
yeah, it's
turnarounds,
like-
they're
Really
pretty good.
quick.
Yeah, it was
Where
like
did you
2 to
have it
3
done?
weeks. So in Bryan. So
Okay.
it just so happened like that is crazy. I mean, like this is again like where like I think I see like God's hand in like all of this. It's so cool. But like this guy in Bryan just so happened to like specialize in WPW and like
Wow.
work with this like all the time. And if I had been anywhere else in the country, like if I had gone anywhere else other than Texas A&M, they may not have found it. And I may not have gotten COVID when I
was about to say, what if-
like, yeah,
Like, getting COVID kind of
it
was not
Right.
a terrible thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I just showed you this.
totally. I mean,
That
like,
is crazy.
which
Dude,
is
what a sequence of events.
yeah.
So first surgery, what did they do in that one then compared to your second?
Yeah, so it was the same procedure both times. Again, super grateful that we found the people we found because, I mean, big shout out to Dr. Mead, great doctor if you need WPW stuff.
You're like,
Let me plug him really quick. But no,
He's
he,
not sponsoring today's
NIL deal?
episode.
right, yeah, with the Brad's heart
Just
rhythm
one
hit me up.
appearance. Hopefully not.
Yeah, actually, not yet. For an NIL, please not for another season. I hope we're done with that. So it's the same procedure both time. It was just an ablation, so like minimally invasive, not open heart or anything crazy. But my problem area was like in a spot in my heart that like if they were overly ambitious and tried to like get it all at once, like they could have ablated too much and like given me a pacemaker, which would
Wow.
mean no track or any kind of activity
Wow.
for like ever. So yeah, the fact that like not only did we find Dr. Mead, but Dr. Mead and his team decided that like, hey, like we need to be conservative on this kid. Like, we
Okay.
don't want to like ruin his heart.
So that's why you had two.
Yep.
They were
Yep.
careful and
Yep.
then they, okay.
Yep. And they thought they got it all, but they didn't quite, which they went back and made that right in June.
Probably better than the
Right.
alternative.
Because I mean, if I was a 10-year-old and somebody found it when I was 10 and my heart was still developing, and like
Yeah.
I mean, all that the space between everything would have been a lot smaller. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the distance between like my heart or like the problem area and like my like the center nerve of like my heart. I don't know. I don't do anatomy. I'm an engineer, but. It was like 17 millimeters or something, so it was like pretty close. So I know that's why
Wow.
they were a little worried about that. But yeah, if I was
Wow.
younger and they had been overly ambitious, I could have had a pacemaker system.
Dude, that's-
and
That
never
is
ran,
crazy.
never
Wow.
done anything like that.
And you also like talked about how there was an instance after one of your races or when you were during a meet when you had an episode. So what did those episodes look like? And was it one instance or was it more frequent that it would happen?
Yeah, so I
And
mean,
just to add, after he got second at SECs in the race,
This
please
happened.
continue. Yeah.
This is like
Second
right
at
after you get second
SECs.
at SECs,
Yeah.
this occurs.
So
Yeah.
like, And
We're
this was
setting the
first
scene.
race of the year or second race of the year?
This was, I think we had about 5 races.
Okay, but you had been like on and off throughout the year, right?
Yeah.
Because of previous stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just came out of SECs and got second place, and then please continue. just to, you know.
I appreciate the
people know what's
I
going on.
appreciate
That was-
brother.
That was pretty impressive. Hey,
Get out of here.
Your
did this
biggest
to
hype man
yourself.
right here,
No,
too.
for real. I can't take it, man. I can't. But dude, yeah, it was, I mean, such a blessing that I was able to run that outdoor season. So I had to redshirt indoor after the surgery.
that's right. Okay.
But then, man, yeah, the surgeons, our athletics training team, everybody was like super supportive and like getting me back into running shape. And man, like, I mean, yeah, so grateful for my coaches and everybody for that. And I had like the biggest breakout season of my life right after that, which again is nothing short of a blessing.
Yeah, that's so amazing.
And something, you know, I don't know why, but something much bigger than myself was a part of that, because there's no way, like coming off of heart surgery, that should have been something that happened. But yeah, man, we got to go to SECs, got second, like Carter said, but I was still having some problems because they didn't quite get it all the way. And when I stepped off the track, it like threw me into like an hour-long episode. And so like these episodes would be like my heart rate would kind of like elevate between like 200 to like 220 BPM, and it's kind of like
That doesn't sound right.
No.
and it's like sitting still, and it's like, why is my heart still beating?
I'm not running
It's like,
anymore,
I
heart.
haven't-
Like,
literally,
please stop.
Like, please, like.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, and usually it would like snap out of that in like a couple minutes, like. But for some reason, after SECs, like I was like, as soon as I stepped off the track, it was
An
like,
hour, you say?
Yeah, it was about an hour. It just
Jeez.
would not stop, and so they got like, it was crazy. I feel so bad for everybody on the team that had to witness that, because I was over at
think
like our
it's-
team camp, and
I think it's okay.
Yeah. You feel
I
bad.
think it's
I'm like,
good. Yeah, geez, Sam.
everyone's like probably like, dude, what is
We were
wrong with
hungry.
Sam? I'm over here like all wires like connected up to me,
So
and like
they
IVs
were
running to
doing
my
all
arm.
that
Oh
stuff
yeah,
just
How
there
selfish.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
front of everyone.
We were
Right.
hungry.
Right.
And this man's got
Right.
wires
Yeah,
on
come
him.
on.
Like, Sam, please.
I'm
That
sorry,
is-
CV. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know I haven't apologized for that in
Yeah.
about 3 years. So
Thank you.
I'm actually sorry.
I was trying to go
That
get
is
Chipotle before it
crazy.
closed, and you want to just lay there on the track. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. So they're really like, for a whole hour, you have everything set up in front of everyone.
Yep.
That was, I remember this.
So I'm assuming it all continued and you're just there?
Oh yeah. The track meet's still going. Like
Yeah, literally the SEC championship, a ginormous meet. Like,
They didn't even take you anywhere. You're just like out in the middle of.
So they like got me back to like our team camp, which was like in like their indoor football facility,
Okay.
Which is
And
like
so-
right beside
there.
the track.
Yeah.
People are warming up in there.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Like, somebody's reaching over Sam, grabbing a Gatorade.
And
Like,
you're
he's
there,
just-
EK, you got all the things. So when that happened, is that what then kind of gave them the idea for the second surgery?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They're like, all right, like
yeah.
we should probably take care of this. Like,
So
Okay,
I
so
guess
they knew it hadn't fully.
right.
because
It
that
wasn't
wouldn't have
fully-
happened most likely if that. So the competition that day is thank the Lord that
Yeah.
you didn't get it all the first time, or you were going to win SECs.
I don't know, man.
Who
I don't know.
is this kid?
You'll have to talk to Navoski Anderson about that one.
Wait,
that's
but
my guy. But
that
yeah.
is so crazy to think. Like, you are very right that there is there is a hand way bigger in
for
this
real.
than anything else. But the fact that the details of how things were laid out in your life and certain situations and instances happened, then for you to realize,
Yeah, that.
which is crazy, because had you not had that episode and it being that significant and long, would they have known, like, hey, we need to go and clear? Was it like clearing more out, right?
It was, yeah, they had to ablate more of the area. It was
Okay.
an extra nerve that would kind of like short circuit the center nerve. So that's why
Okay.
it would start beating super fast, because it would just get stuck in like a little feed.
Wow. So since then, so you then had your second surgery. How recent after that occurred? Or soon after?
Yeah, so let's see. That I got to travel to regionals with the team, which was super fun. So I just got to hang out in Arkansas.
That
for a
was
week.
good.
Okay, good times.
So yeah, that was a great time. Going and grabbing coffee and stuff
Yeah.
with this guy.
We found some good spots over the years.
Oh yeah. That's always a highlight of travel trips.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, CV,
No
wanna grab
doubt.
coffee?
Good
So,
spots.
Always. But yeah, I got to travel to regionals, and kind of like right after that, like early June.
So that ended your season, right?
Yeah.
That was, I remember.
Yeah. It was a fun
So,
conversation.
geez, dude, I feel like every year was just prolonged just a little more, Sam. Oh, next year you get to go next year, and it was just you were just waiting for that time to be able to kind of unleash, right?
Totally. It was we've definitely been battling back from something just about every season.
Yeah.
It seems like it.
That's part of sport, and that's makes it interesting.
Yeah, I mean, yes, to a degree
It
it's part of sport, but your circumstances are incredibly unique to what most people endure in their time as an athlete, but for most people in their life. Like, you were undergoing something that not many people have to go through, and you were also balancing being a student and an athlete and wanting to continue your athletic career. So, I mean, that makes it even more unique than the average person. And again, it goes to show how special it is to see where you've ended up. And we'll get there. Obviously, Carter can continue to give a lot of those accolades and things because
Jeez, y'all got
it's
time?
like in his memory bank.
Got like
But-
a receipt in my pocket. It's like this long of Sam's
Yeah,
accolades.
but that alone, I feel like could have been that is probably like a big part of your story and a big part of your testimony and who you are and your faith and all of those things. But it's not the only thing that you've had happen, okay? And I feel like everything that you've had happen is like so unique, and I feel like when I say it, it doesn't even sound real or possible. This next story, I think, is the one that literally sounds.
I know
This
what
next
you're
thing
talking
sounds
about.
like a movie scene. Like it sounds fake, okay?
Yeah.
Obviously, y'all were there, so I'm
I
gonna
wasn't
give
even
y'all.
there. I think I was jumping or
Probably
something.
were, dude.
Like,
It was earlier in the day.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
like-
I don't want to be the storyteller because I wasn't even in the vicinity, and I just heard this whole story today.
Well-
so if one of y'all want to take
by all means, Sam.
the man
totally.
himself,
First person point of
people
view.
are like,
Sure.
what are they about to say? This is crazy that this occurred, and if you could give the details to where you were and why you were there, and then how that happened.
Totally, yeah. So I think I actually talked about the story freshman year after everything happened on a TexAgs
Was
podcast
this freshman year?
Was it?
This was freshman
was
year.
it JV or juniors on varsity or something?
It was, I don't remember what it was called. It was with Kennedy.
yeah.
Seniors
Seniors on JV.
JV.
Seniors on JV.
Yeah. And I think she titled it like Sam's like sequence of unfortunate
Oh
events
my
or something
God.
like
Wait,
that.
that
which
is
was,
so crazy.
yeah. So this was on there, so you can go back and
So you've
watch
been here
that
before.
One,
You've
man,
talked about it here.
It's a good story. It's a great one. But we're unfortunately in that burnt orange city of Austin.
Yeah, this one happened in College Station. This story wouldn't happen.
Like to
No,
preface that,
yeah.
this was
No way. Just Austin.
Just an Austin thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, over at the TU relays.
Yeah.
Man, I've got unfortunately for her, I've got a friend that goes to TU.
Yeah.
So I
Prayers
feel my
for
heart
her.
goes out to her. And trying to bring her some Aggie spirit. We were going to go grab lunch at Chipotle before about like 4 hours before I ran.
I literally remember that.
Yeah, dude.
This is crazy.
It was nuts. And we're like, we text her. I'm texting her. We figure out we want to go to Chipotle, and she's like, "Oh, hey, but like, by the way, like this Chipotle is on the same street. It's on Guadalupe for any of y'all from Austin or around the area." And it's like that's where I get all my crime alerts for TU. And I'm thinking, man, okay, well, like, look, like if it's like.
She prefaced with that?
Yes, she did. Like she led off with that, and I was like, and I'm not worried about me. I'm like, man, if it's sketchy, like I'll walk you back to your dorm. I'll see you later at the meet. Like no worries at all. Or even like walk to your dorm and pick you up. And she's like, oh, I'll walk there, no biggie. Like we'll meet at Chipotle. I'm like, okay, cool, no worries. And man, so Guad is like a block from our hotel. Like it's literally adjacent to the hotel parking lot. So I walk like 20 yards from the hotel.
Oh
and I
yeah,
go
you
stand
hadn't
on the
even like
street
left
corner.
the property.
No, dude, I'm right there.
Yeah.
I'm like right there. And I'm standing on this street corner and just kind of minding my own business and probably maybe not the smartest thing, but wearing like an A&M shirt in the middle of Austin.
in
like,
enemy territory.
might have put a target on my back a little bit. Man, I'm standing there, and this is my first time like really walking around
This
Austin.
was freshman year?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Post-heart surgery.
Yeah.
This is an outdoor
It had
season.
been too
This
long
is in
since
between
something
both your heart
happened.
surgeries?
Yes, yeah. It's great. It was awesome. Yeah. God has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
People are still like, what is he gonna? People are
right.
so confused.
We're like
Right.
building crazy anticipation.
Right, for sure. Yeah, we'll keep building
We're
that
the
up.
anticipation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, I'm standing there and I'm waiting to cross onto Guadalupe. I'm not even on it yet. And all of a sudden I hear yelling. And I'm standing there. I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, people yell. It's a city, right? Like, people are gonna whatever. It's
What
not my
kind of
business.
yelling are we
Not my
talking about
business.
here?
Oh, like loud yelling, like you know,
Okay.
like kind of like cursing at each other, or at least.
Okay.
You know, it apparently was directed at me, but like I didn't know that. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. I gotta be chill. Like, be cool. Like, you belong here. And then right behind me is like a big metal like transformer box. And all of a sudden I just hear like tink, 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 like on the metal behind me. I'm like, all right, that's not normal. Like that shouldn't be happening. And so like my head like shoots up, and I'm like trying to figure out where that's coming from. And there's this big black truck making a left turn. It's like a pretty wide turn. And the driver's like hanging out of like the window, like pointing at me and yelling. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. And then I look.
You're like, hey.
I'm like, all right, what's up?
Get
right. Yeah, gotta spread the love, man. Gotta spread the love. But then I look in the back seat right behind him, and somebody else is hanging out the window too. But he's not like just pointing. He's pointing something.
Oh my gosh, Sam.
He's got something lined up at me, and I just have enough time to go, oh crap, and then something hits me like right here. So I'd like to think that I'm like the luckiest, like unlucky person in this situation, because if it had been just a little more that way, like I may not have an eye. But like, I don't know what it was, like whether it was like a paintball or like a rubber bullet. It didn't explode, so like if it was a paintball, it was like a rubber paintball, I guess.
Right, I remember, rubber something.
Yeah, it like had some weight to it. It didn't break the skin, I wasn't bleeding.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I feel like is one of like such a crazy part of it is that, I mean, and thank you God.
Right, exactly.
That it didn't.
Like, what?
Totally.
That is, and then,
Because like, but again, who's to know like what they were? More than likely what you're saying, like probably a rubber bullet because the paintball would explode.
Right.
But the fact that that didn't is like a miracle.
Right.
crazy.
Truly a miracle.
And then you went and ran.
Yeah, so I still had to run. So I like ran back to the hotel. Like at this point, I'm like, man, I'm so grateful I run track. Like I can like get out of here.
Were you
like
crying?
It's just sliding
it was just like
through the
tearing
city.
up, like because my eye was kind of like swelling up a little bit. So like it was
That's
like
crazy.
my eyes were sweating. I wasn't crying. I don't,
Yeah,
yeah.
Super hot at
He doesn't
63
cry.
lanes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I don't do that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Of course not. So yeah, my eyes are sweating a lot. You know, I'm like covering my face. I'm like sprinting back to the hotel, and Brian
Bancroft,
is loading up one of the vans. He's our old equipment guy and
Shout out
our old
Brian.
track manager. Yeah,
We
big
miss
shout out to Brian.
Good
Yeah, what a guy, man. And I remember going up to him like, Brian, Brian just got shot in the face, and he looks at me, he's like, Whitmarsh, what are you talking about? And I'm like, look, I like take my hand on my eyes, like kind of getting like kind of red and puffy, and he like looks at me, he's like, oh. He gets his camera out and like takes a picture of it, sends it to Sowell, and he's like, go like up to the ice machine, I guess, and get some ice. Like, it's like this is not something we typically have to handle.
Saul doesn't have like a procedure for this.
Right, yeah. Everyone's kind of like, well, like, what do we do about this? And so then they're working on filing the police report, and man, I just want to get my Chipotle so that I can like eat something before I run. And so then I'm having to call my friend and be like, hey, so like, man, I just got shot in the face.
You're like, so you were right.
Yeah, right, literally. And she's like, what do you mean shot in the face? Like, I think like her first thought was like training, like Saul, like, I don't know, like needles, something. And it's like, no, like I got like shot. And like I was like
With
in
a
a
gun.
drive-by. And like the not good part. I mean, there's not a good part of a drive-by, but like I was,
Maybe they're dropping off food or something. Like that's a good drive-by. But
right. Yeah, that's a much better
DoorDash.
situation.
Yeah, like
I would have been on like
that's a chill drive-by.
I would rather be involved in that kind of drive-by
Here's
than
your
a drive-by.
Chipotle.
Literally.
I'm so shocked
Yeah.
by that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I remember we finished the meet and they say that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like shot in the face.
I cannot imagine. Okay, again, first off, there's so many like baby blessings also in it, and so many things to be thankful for. Even when it comes to the fact that it wasn't a real bullet. Okay.
Right. No, yeah.
Like,
I mean, I
that's-
wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah, that's like one of the like
Yeah.
one of the many. But it's like absolutely crazy to think that that just happened in the most like, oh, you're just heading to lunch and
Crazy.
you wouldn't.
Crazy.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, out of thin air.
Yeah.
And you're there, why? For a track meet.
Mm-hmm.
You're there because you have to be there.
Yep.
And it's just crazy. And to then have Carter say that you went and ran.
Yeah.
Yeah,
afterwards.
Of course.
we had to. What else was I?
Of course.
I mean,
you have to get shot with a real bullet to not run.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It has to be a real bullet.
Right,
If not,
right.
To be Sam,
Yeah. Any other form of bullet,
Yeah.
please. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
up.
Okay, then to kind of run us through what that looked like after the fact
Yeah.
and what that race looked like for you after the fact.
Yeah, so luckily, I didn't think I was gonna like get my Chipotle, but luckily,
This was the ultimate goal.
dude, that was the main. I
was
just
gonna
wanted
say,
my Chipotle,
We're
man.
still
like,
talking about Chipotle.
that was
it's
the
the
whole
most
goal.
important part. And it was like a key, very integral to the story. I was trying to get this food. Luckily, Caden Norris, my teammate and roommate.
Shout out, Caden.
Yeah, shout out to Caden, man.
We've had a lot of shout outs this episode.
Hey, good people.
You guys
Yeah,
love, y'all
right,
love
right.
your people.
Surrounded by some good people.
Got to. But he had half a panini from his lunch, and he was like,
Nice.
dude, like, I got you. So I was like,
A panini.
I was like, let's go. I'll eat anything at this point. I'm starving. I'm starving, and I'm holding ice to my eye.
Oh my God.
I'm starving and I got shot.
I can't
in the
see out of
face.
one eye. I just want to eat. I need to go run.
Gosh.
But the DoorDash guy actually made it ahead of time and got me
Oh,
my
so you
bowl.
ordered Chipotle.
So you did have
I had
a good
dash.
drive-by.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I did.
A
We
good
had the better.
drive-by.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, dude pulled up on a bike. It was great. I was
Nice.
Okay, good.
definitely scared, like afraid of cars.
Yeah.
You're
But
like,
not
in the-
dudes on a
so-
bike.
In
Yeah,
the
dude on a
notes,
bike,
you're
yeah.
like, any recommendation,
He's on a
please
bike.
be on a bike or a scooter.
We can run this other
Do
one
not
back.
come in a car.
Please do not come in a black truck.
Literally. But
Nice.
man, yeah. So got that. Went to the meet. I'm wearing sunglasses while I'm warming up. Yeah,
It's like raining. You're just sorry.
yeah, it's like, guys, don't worry about it. Like, and then I think I was running the 400 meter leg on like the SMR.
Oh, that's
I
right,
think.
yeah.
Yep, and made it through, and like running actually cleared up my vision a little bit. So I was
Oh.
like, oh, sick, and then went back to like being bad after. But I was like, all right, for like a second, I was like, I can
For
see.
the meantime.
This is great. The adrenaline.
Right,
probably
that might have
kicked
been
in.
it. Yeah, that might have been it.
Nice.
And but yeah, then the next day I think we had our 4x8, and I could see by that point.
Wow.
Yeah, we were good.
Dude, that is
Wow.
crazy.
Yep.
That is so insane. So a lot of things that transpired in year one.
Totally.
Okay, Carter again. See, I just feel like Carter just informed me on so much about you, Sam.
Well, I think there's a lot people don't see. Like, I think people, I mean, you went to Colorado yourself this summer, little solo trip, camping, hiking. You know, people don't see that.
That's so
I think that's
cool.
something we talk about a lot. Like last week, we decided we're gonna climb Mount Everest.
We're gonna make it
after
happen.
college.
Yeah,
Okay.
CB just texted me like late at night.
Okay.
He's just like, hey, dude, like.
It was like 11 p.m. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I'm in my bed. I'm just like, let me see if Sam would be down to climb Mount
Yeah,
Everest.
literally, I get this text. He's like, "Hey, if like I asked you to climb Mount Everest, would you climb it with me?" And I was like, "Dude, heck yeah!" Like,
Dude, and that was the
That-
extent. I'm like, bet night, bro.
yeah,
Why
literally.
am I not surprised?
Like, I'll drop everything right now.
I saw an
Yeah.
article. I think it was the second person ever, or the second Aggie ever,
Yep.
to climb Mount Everest. I'm like, no, we have to do
Oh,
it.
there's only been two?
Yeah, so I'm like, we have to be top 5.
We gotta
I'm like,
make it
Oh,
four.
let's go, guys.
You gotta make it
yeah,
four.
you
So-
have to make it
but
4.
it's,
Come on.
expensive and takes a long time to train. I was looking into it a little more. So a few years after we wrap up our
That's
track,
fine.
we have some time. Yeah.
Boys trip.
Number 3 and 4 on Mount Everest.
Oh,
yeah. Even though you guys didn't invite me, I wouldn't have attended the function. I wouldn't have attended anyways. So let me just. So it's okay, guys.
yeah, sorry.
So it's okay, guys. Yeah, y'all didn't.
Boys
Y'all didn't
trip.
have to invite me.
Boys
anyways.
trip.
But Sam, Carter was telling me how this year for you was like a big
Oh my
breakout
gosh,
year.
yeah.
Obviously, we're aware of that, and you were in talking about your season. You've been in here talking about your season, yeah. So we've had you in that regard. But I mean, how special is that for you to be someone who has undergone so many things and again, so many unique things that the average person, one, has never experienced and would not be aware of about you. But just how special is that for you to continue to run, but then let alone just continue to run, have so much success in what you do?
Totally. I mean, I really think like all of that really put just emphasis on like how much like running is a gift and like how much like yeah, man.
That was a good.
No, yeah, totally. Talked about that over coffee.
Right.
But man, like just how much just like life is a gift in general, and like everything that we get to do every day. Like we may not get to do that tomorrow, and kind of like going through some of these things, like really put that into perspective, and really just, I'm grateful that I had people in my life that like guided my heart towards like a posture of gratitude, like whether that was like from my parents, from the great people that I get to hang around every day, and that just kind of like steered me in that direction for gratitude for these opportunities, and to just like run with that joy, man, like that, like man, like God's giving me these opportunities. Running well and doing my best is the best way that I can thank Him for giving me those opportunities. Right. And like, man, if I can do that every time I step on the track.
And you do, bro. I remember the first picture I saw you at Nationals is Sam's mid-race, like finishing the race, crosses through in the picture. He's still running. He has a ginormous smile on his face. Like, and it's the one that's posted everywhere. Like, you know, when they breaking news, finals 800, and it's like the guy's like dying crossing the line, and Sam's just smiling.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Sam.
Yes,
I know that.
You do seem like a ray of sunshine.
Absolutely.
And I feel like, and we do have to end up wrapping it up here soon, which makes me sad because I feel like
we have to continue.
We could talk for like 2 hours. But, and there is so much more about you that people don't know. And at some point, we're going to break those other things out.
Yeah. Part 2.
But something that, part 2. Something that we do have our guests, and I feel like yours is going to be really good.
I'm sure.
Something that we do have our guests do is give almost a like cheesy tagline to, it doesn't have to be cheesy, but to what they would say their career and experience as a student athlete has looked like. For mine, when I did it, mine was one step at a time, like the song. Well, do you remember what was yours from when you? There's been a lot of different ones.
I think I said, it was about the. How you spend your days is how you spend your life.
What Coach Henry, or is that what Coach Henry?
Similar. He says, "Don't let the day get away." Basically, all encompassing the same thing. But mine, yeah. How you spend your days is what your life's going to look like when you look. You know.
If you had a title and a little tagline.
If you had a fun sentence, like something to leave, what would you say? I know you probably.
I know. Sorry, we like typically. I'm going to give a little secret. We give people a warning before.
Oh, we do.
And I forgot to do that.
This will be better though.
That was my fault.
This will come off.
All good, man. All good. Yeah, straight off the dome. I think the first thing that like came to my mind is like choose joy.
Nice.
Aww.
Choose joy, man. Whenever you're wherever you're at, choose joy.
Might as well.
Aw, Sam, you're so wonderful. You're one of those people like you spend time with and you feel more joy.
That's why every Tuesday we grab coffee with Kenner and we leave like ready to go. It's
great.
7:30 in the morning. We're ready to go. Tack the week.
Guys, y'all are wonderful. That's so great.
Good people.
Sam, thank you so much.
No
and
doubt.
truly, you are, I mean, a miracle of a human being in regard to all the things that you've had to go through and things that you've persevered through to, I mean, let alone the success that you've had, like we mentioned earlier, just the ability to go out and still perform and have the desire to continue to run and find joy in it, like you're saying, is a really beautiful thing. So seriously, you're amazing. And it's been,
I know, bro.
Like
Thanks for coming.
Carter and I are so different in this episode. He's
Thanks for coming.
so comfortable having his bestie here, and I'm just here like, you're amazing. No, but seriously, you're awesome. And he has only ever said the greatest things about you.
I appreciate that, man. His shirt says it all, man.
Dude, for real.
Yeah, all glory to God right here.
That's right.
Love, too bad you didn't match. I know that was the plan.
I know, we got to get you one of those.
Seriously,
too.
yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Carter was like, Sam's coming here, and he's wearing this shirt. And I'm like, well, thanks for letting me know.
Sorry, we both had it.
My bad.
It's fine, guys. It's fine. But thank you so much for being here.
No doubt, Sam.
And thank you for sharing your story of what it's like behind, I know you don't have a number, but what are those things?
Bib.
Behind the bib. Behind the bib.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing your behind the bib story.
We appreciate you, Sam.
We love it. And thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Behind the Number.
Thank you.
Yes, we will see you guys on the next one.